I'm Teo Deliangeli.
I'm Gabrielle McIntosh.
And welcome to Creating an Animated Short. Now, today we are going to answer some questions about our internship at Embreate and how we created our short films.
What is your animation about?
What we were exploring with our animated shorts was this theme of sci-fi, and with my animation, I wanted to sort of explore this sort of post-apocalyptic world that's been overtaken, and I wanted to play around with nature, sort of reclaiming old civilizations, and with that, maybe some like new creatures, sort of how they would form and I guess interact with an old environment. So I've just provided a background drawing here of my main establishing shot. And if we switch down to the next one, actually I have an example here of my two little critters. They're like little worms.
They're so cute.
They
so
pop
cute.
out through the window. And yeah, I think if we switch to the next one, I've included this is an example of sort of how I'm creating it.
I've created a short, I'm working on a short, called In Wives. My inspiration was because I'd recently read the book 1984. They say that when the truth is undermined, our freedom slips away. And that's a theme that I was really trying to go with on this short, which is called In Wives. It tells the story of a housewife named Maria who lives on like a future colonized version of Mars. In a world where it's kind of set in a retro-futurist sort of 50s, 60s era. It's very much inspired by like the Jetsons and the Incredibles. And it follows this sort of idea where they believe that women can't go outside because they believe that women are too fragile and that even if you're wearing a protective suit, you'll turn to dust and explode and die. And it's her journey of figuring out that that is BS and she can actually go and have freedom. And so it kind of takes you along with her thought process and, liberation.
Can you walk us through the process?
I'm doing most of my animation on Procreate. It was a matter of creating an animated short and you're super pressed for time, and that's the software I was just most familiar with. I'm doing most of my drawing, I guess, in Procreate, and then I'm planning on exporting it into Photoshop and After Effects to do sort of my final editing. Here is the storyboards I did. They're very quick. They were just sticky notes. That was sort of the first step in my process. What about you, Teo?
My turn. Okay. So on screen here we have some of my process work that I used in creating this short. In the middle we have a really quick storyboard that I did. So as you can see, hopefully from the models and from the picture that we saw earlier, my short is 3D animated in Blender. So here I have my really quick board. I've got some character sketches. I've got some really rough original Blender turnarounds. I have our main character. She was modeled in Blender, also rigged. And then we have the two sort of, I always call them rebel pinups, who come to save her. They basically hack her little telescreens in her house, and they tell her, oh, hey, actually, you can go outside. One of my main themes was also the use of advertisements, sort of how in the 50s and 60s we always had those really misogynistic ads for, women, you need this product in order to live. And this scene takes you through, I've got a very like 1940s male voice that's like describing the horrible things that will happen to women if they go outside. You could horribly die. It's ridiculous. I wanted to make sure that the actual characters who are shown on screen and get screen time are women, and that men are kind of relegated to being sort of background voices and not like main features. Here's also a set that I created and a behind-the-scenes shot of what animation looks like. I know it's scary, but it's okay. I'm gonna be okay.
What is the most important thing in this opportunity has taught you?
So the most important thing that I really learned was time management. And actually, if we flip through this, we can see that I created a sort of table. There we go. Again, you're just so pressed for time, because I know I'm also doing a full course load on top of creating this. And yeah, it was just a matter of, this has been very, very helpful for me. I've been using it to keep track of what I'm doing, especially because I've had to change some things around. There's been a lot of learning curves. But yeah, this is just kind of showing me where I am. Learning, plan ahead, set deadlines for yourself,
yes.
Set proper steps.
Agree.
and that'll keep you on track for finishing on time. Also, give yourself a little bit of room actually to prepare for when things go wrong, because regardless about how good you think you are doing it, something bad is going to happen, and it is going to derail you in some way.
The wisdom that I think is the most important that I gained from our placement supervisor, Scott, shout out to Scott, thank you, is that this is the most busy time of our lives, and that it will probably not be this hectic ever again. Understanding that, like, it's not going to be forever. You will have a break soon. You just got to push through. I found that really motivating, honestly.
That is sort of what we learned, what our projects are sort of about, our themes, sort of how we're walking through it, and some things we learned. And hopefully this is helpful to whoever's viewing it. And
Take the placement course. Take the placement course. It's
Yeah.
been so much fun, and we've learned so much about professional development and just how to really apply yourself in a kind of professional environment. Thank you so much to Scott and to Embreate and to our other group members and to Treva.
and to OKAIDU Live for
Everybody, yeah.
helping us with filming this.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.